The insanity of men really needs to be studied, because if you think about all of the geopolitical conflicts that are taking place throughout the world right now, it all boils down to the insanity of men. The weapons of mass destruction, the ongoing wars and genocides, it all boils down to men and their insanity. They are the logical gender, and yet they cannot stop perpetuating violence. They cannot stop making life miserable for the rest of us, because they will not stop killing and pillaging. It's infuriating. The fact that we have to share a planet with people that cannot regulate their egos and emotions is fucking infuriating. I hate it.
Blaming guys for every war on Earth is just pure delusion. They completely ignore the men who build their houses and keep their streets safe. If living with men makes them that mad, they can always go live in the woods.
Today, a woman in her 50s was telling me how upset she was over everything going on in Iran. Not because she doesn't support war or foreign intervention, but because she thought that women were oppressed more, suffered more, and had fewer rights here than over there. She said, why is President Trump helping liberate women in Iran when he's taking away women's rights and we have fewer rights than they do here? You can't make this up. I don't understand these people. I really don't understand.
Comparing minor inconveniences here to real oppression overseas is just blind privilege. Crying about having no rights while living in a free country screams entitlement. People fighting to survive in other countries don't have time to make TikToks.
Is a man paying bills and giving a woman money patriarchal values? I made a video talking about how my boyfriend treats me, including the fact that he sees his money as our money and my money as my money. It's just his philosophy. And I had so many men in my comments saying, that's patriarchal values. Clearly you adhere to the patriarchal values that benefit you, but not the ones that don't. And here's why this is absolutely not true. First of all, men providing for women has never actually been a patriarchal value. That is a very convenient myth that keeps women accepting and feeling grateful for less than the bare minimum. Because the truth is that until very recently, men were the only ones who had any legal access to the resource of money, while women were artificially prevented by men from having any access to their own finances. So men were and are doing the thing that they would have to do anyway, getting jobs, buying homes.
Calling a man providing for his family a fake myth makes zero sense. Men taking on the massive stress of earning the money wasn't a magic trick to oppress people. Taking his paycheck while claiming it has nothing to do with traditional roles is just pure convenience.
And then also, because of the way our society was set up, when they married a woman by choice, and a woman married them not by choice because she needed that marriage in order to survive, in order to be able to buy food, and he absolutely didn't, then he got an indentured servant for the rest of her life, and he got to extract her labor, her intimacy, everything about her, because she couldn't survive otherwise. That's not provision. If he wanted to divorce her after we legalized divorce, in many, many cases, he would divorce her and leave her with nothing. That's not provision. That is control and dominance. That is what we had, control and dominance. So when a man is giving a woman money, when he is actually being generous with his money, when he is actually caring for a woman with the resources that he has, that is the opposite of patriarchal values. That is actually caring for and providing for women, which is not at all patriarchal, no matter what they told you.
Comparing traditional marriage to forced labor just completely spits on history. Working dangerous jobs to keep a roof over a family wasn't about control and dominance. If paying all the bills makes a guy the bad guy, then there's literally no way to win.
Being a girl is really so fucking complicated. Like, I go back and forth every day between being an empowered, independent woman and working and, getting to the bag myself without a man. But then there be some days that I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I am so tired and I really wish I had a man to help me.
The independent boss lifestyle sounds great until the exhaustion finally hits. Realizing the need for a good man to help out is just normal human nature. They sold the empowerment dream just to get everyone stressed and working non-stop.
I cannot explain to you how deeply, deeply I do not want to work as a woman. But if I don't work, I feel like shit about myself. So here I am. I just want to frolic around with my dogs. I want to stay home. I want to cook. But if I only do that, and society tells me I can't just do that. So here I am. Here I am. Ladies, I got a bone to pick with our previous generations about this. Leaving home to go work instead of taking care of the family. The other problem is I don't have a family.
Blaming older generations for having to work just shows massive regret. The big promise of corporate freedom just turned into a daily grind to pay rent. A traditional family sounds great now, but they already burned that bridge.
I find it insane that we live in a world where people wake up, go to work by 8 or 9 a.m., work all day, they get told when they can have lunch, when they can have breaks, they're sitting in a cubicle ingesting blue light all day, and then they clock out at 5 p.m., sit in traffic for an hour, get home, feed their kids, feed themselves, tidy up the house a little bit, watch 30 minutes of a show, and then it's time to go to bed. And then they wake up the next day and start all over again. This is literally why I had to quit the corporate life, because having a 9-to-5 job like that is stealing your life. Like, it blows my mind that as a society we wake up and just willingly give our lives away. So if you're watching this and you're one of those people that's currently doing that, I urge you to put all of your effort into finding a remote job that you can do from home, or start a business, or become a content creator, or find something that you can do on your own terms so that you can buy back time in your day and take back your freaking life.
Sitting in a cubicle all day just to get a paycheck drains the soul. The corporate rat race takes all your energy and leaves you with nothing. Escaping the matrix means you have to completely reject the standard script.
Men get immediate benefits from dating women, while women settle for future potential. Men choose women that they want to date and will better their lives right now, while women tend to date men who will hopefully make their lives better in the future. This includes things like the orgasm gap, where men are having orgasms every single time they sleep together, but the woman is hoping that eventually he'll learn her body enough to give her a good orgasm. This is in the emotional labor, where she listens to his problems, supports his goals, and even takes it onto herself to grow and to be a better person, to be easier for him to be around. While she has to help him learn about his things, right? She has to help him be like, oh yeah, I had a knee-jerk reaction there. Oh yeah, I shouldn't talk to you like that just because I'm upset about work. She hopes that one day he will become as emotionally supportive as she has been.
Expecting a flawless partner from day one completely ignores reality. Relationships take time to grow and improve together. Keeping score of every emotional conversation just makes everything feel like a transaction.
She tends to cook, clean, organize social events with his family, with friends, for his birthday, for holidays, etc. And he gets to bask in all of this social life being brought to him, all of these dinners being brought to him, all of these clean clothes showing up in his closet. While she has to settle for the potential that he'll start doing more around the house the more she asks but doesn't nag. Men tend to get everything they want from having a girlfriend, having a wife, while the woman waits for the potential that hopefully one day he will propose. Women will support men emotionally and even try to offload some of his financial stress while he's in college, while he's working on building his career as a promising young man, all in the hopes that one day he will support her just the same. Because all of this tends to come naturally to women since they have been raised to be like this from the beginning, men see it as more of a burden on them, that they're always having to constantly work on themselves and get better for you. So what does that build in him for you? Resentment.
Demanding a massive payoff for doing basic nice things just breeds pure resentment. Guys working through college need actual time to build a solid foundation. A real partnership means putting in the work together without handing out a daily invoice.
Let's talk about why men typically have more money in investments and savings than women. I think if you think about what men talk about in their friend groups versus women, is about stocks, what they're investing in, what long-term goals they have. What women typically talk about is what are they buying, what beauty products are they purchasing. It's all short term and it's all decreasing our wealth, whereas men sit around and have conversations about things that are increasing their wealth. And I think it's something that we should consider as women as we look to become more financially educated. What are the conversations we're having to make us successful?
Admitting they don't know about money explains the huge wealth gap. While guys talk about investments, they focus on buying makeup and clothes. You can't build wealth if you blow your whole paycheck on stuff that loses value.
I wish I could be this level of delusional. I really wish. What really sucks is the feminist movement is not only taking over women, but it's taking over the facts of biology. If there was a war between men and women, just alone on brute force, men would win every single day of the week. Men are just overwhelmingly stronger. Those are the facts. I don't make the rules. The only way that women are even useful in the military right now is because of intelligence positions as well as advanced technology. I strongly believe that men and women are equal in value. They are not equal in their strength. Why do you think everyone is freaking out about biological men invading female sports? It's because men are going to win every single day of the week. It's impossible for a woman to even pretend to match the strength of a man, ever. Why do you think you yourselves, women who blame men for absolutely everything and think that you can't walk the streets at night alone for fear you're going to be attacked by a man? You'll feel that way because even you know deep down that men are always going to be stronger than you. But I'm not telling you this to knock you down. I'm telling this to knock you out of the delusional state that you need to pit men and women against each other.
It is not quirky or funny to publicly admit that your emergency contact is your boyfriend or husband who is deeply incompetent and irresponsible. It is wildly concerning to me to see all of the women that are under this sound that are saying, ladies and gentlemen, my emergency contact, and he is doing the most outlandish type of behavior.
Your back's gotta be pretty sore from doing all that reaching. Like, there's no way you didn't grow 3 inches. It has got to be very exhausting trying to turn every single moment into a think piece on hating men. This is a very harmless trend, women posting their partners doing something goofy and captioning it my emergency contact. That's literally the joke. But you've somehow managed to try and turn it into some kind of deep commentary about incompetence and irresponsibility based off of a 5-second clip. You deduced that about someone from a 5-second clip. Be so for real. God forbid women actually feel safe and secure in their relationships. God forbid they actually have a dynamic where they can joke around with their partner. But no, you had to make it about how awful men are because he tripped over his own feet in a TikTok. If you are mad that you can't participate in the trend, then just say that. Because your username being your boyfriend's worst nightmare and your bio saying let men rot make it pretty clear where you stand. Maybe this just isn't the space for you. By all means, keep trying to suck the fun out of everything while we are out here actually enjoying our relationships.
Y'all, I'm here to tell you 5 lies that modern feminism is telling you, and y'all are believing it. I don't think y'all are ready for this, Jelly. Maybe you are. I don't know. Listen up. Lie number 1. I don't need a man. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I do. You do. Men need women too. Lie number 2. I love this one. Masculinity is toxic. No. There's toxic people. Masculinity, true masculinity, is strong and necessary. Culture is constantly emasculating men, and then we're wondering, like, where did all the strong leaders go? Lie number 3. Sexual freedom is empowerment. No, you're just a hoe. You can tell yourself all the lies and feed yourself all the BS you want. You're a hoe. It's literally self-destruction slapped with some lip gloss. Last I checked, our bodies are not a buffet for hungry, confused men, okay? Oh, here's a good one. If he can't handle me at my worst, he doesn't deserve me at my best. And what that garbage translates to is, I refuse to grow. I refuse to take responsibility and accountability. And last but not least, feminism gives you freedom. Freedom from what? Burnout? Working 60 hours a week, paying all your bills on your own? Possibly raising kids all on your own? That's not freedom. That's a scam with some good PR.
Feminism is a complete joke nowadays. Like, how is it empowering or girl power to have full cleavage hanging out, or allowing men to see seductive photos of you in indecent clothing, or lack of clothes, I should say, thus permitting them to use you as an object for their sexual gratification? It saddens me that so many women are being brainwashed by today's society and view on women empowerment. True femininity is finding your completion in God and honoring your own body by dressing in a way that demands respect.
a phrase on social media that absolutely drives me crazy. If he wanted to, he would. Oh, I don't disagree with it, but it is overused. What about if she wanted to, she would? Culturally, it's like men are not allowed to have any kind of feeling. They're not allowed to have a say. They get used by their money. Like, I really feel bad for men these days. I absolutely despise extreme feminism. Like I said, I don't disagree with it. My ex-husband, better bet that applied to him. But not because he didn't bring me flowers or lay rose petals out to the toilet for my first pee or bow down and worship me when I'm being psycho. It was other reasons, more serious reasons why we're not married. Quit overusing it.
Isn't it so crazy that feminism does the exact opposite of empowering women? It is not giving you freedom. It is actually silencing you. It has convinced women that sexualization is freedom, that selling their bodies online is freedom, that having multiple partners is freedom. But what this actually does is exploit you and enslave you. It's funny how feminism actually just gave the worst type of men exactly what they wanted. I mean, having as much emotionless sex as possible, OnlyFans, running around half naked, killing their babies, men and women's sports. How does that equal female empowerment? Not to mention you're warding off all of the good men. I mean, you guys say over and over how much you hate men when you are literally doing the things that please the worst type of men. If you were focused more on traditional femininity, on having one partner, on getting married, on having kids, on building a family unit, I promise you would attract really good men into your life, and therefore you wouldn't hate all men. And every time I say things like this, I get told that I'm tearing down other women. No. The reason that I post what I post is because I actually care about other women and their well-being. You can take it or leave it. But if I were to just let you exploit yourself and enslave yourself to what I would consider a cult, I mean, take Bonnie Blue, for example, that would be me not caring about you.
They told us feminism would set us free, but here's the truth nobody wants to admit. It's the biggest scam ever sold to women. Feminism promised empowerment, but what did it really deliver? Broken families, exhausted women, a culture that mocks motherhood, despises homemaking, and tells little girls their worth is found in acting like men. Instead of freedom, it gave us burnout. Instead of joy, it gave us loneliness. Instead of peace, it gave us endless chase for success that leaves us empty. They told us marriage was slavery, children were a burden, and being a wife was oppression. But the reality? The women who bought into those lies are more miserable than ever, chained to careers, drowning in debt, and searching for meaning. True strength isn't found in rejecting femininity. It's found in embracing it, in raising children, in building homes, and walking boldly in God's design. Feminism lied. God's way never fails. Save this for later and follow if you're ready to hear the truth they don't want you to know.
I'm constantly amazed how many women think feminism is a good thing. Women have been so lied to. Feminism was created to separate families. We valued our sense of independence so much that it took away our strong sense of family unit. Kids are being raised by government childcare. Women are working just as many hours as the men are, but are still expected to go home and take care of their children. It's a 24/7 job to be a woman living in America. This isn't the American dream. The American dream is living off of one income, the man provides, and we depend on them. The American dream would be women taking care of themselves, the home, their children, their husband. Women are meant to be gardening, cooking good food, nurturing the ones that they love. That's when women get a strong sense of self, and when they're in their true feminine energy, that's when they thrive. You cannot convince me that women were meant to work a 9-to-5 job just like a man is. You see other women being taken care of. Maybe they're cooking, they're taking care of the children, and they're being there present. And you think, wow, I would love that. When a woman is in her soft feminine era, she thrives. And that's what any woman wants. Society has brainwashed us to think independence is a good thing, when in reality, it just breaks families apart. Now, don't get me wrong, I think feminism can be a good thing, but I just feel like it shouldn't have come at the cost of losing the family unit. Nobody has a strong sense of family, and why is that? I would strongly suggest that feminism, independence, been girl bossing a little too hard, took away the strong urgency of having a family.
This is the truth, and it sucks because women have been victimized and weaponized to use against men in this day and age. It's to break up the nuclear family, to separate the men from the women. Honestly, in my opinion, women can't really make it alone. We need a strong man in our lives, you know? And, I mean, what's better than brainwashing our breeders? You know what I mean? Like, we make the world go round, but we need a strong man and a safe man in our lives. And they've done this on purpose. This is definitely an attack on both men and women. So not all people think this. Not all women think this. And as somebody that just got out of an abusive relationship, I still don't see men as the enemy. You know, just one man didn't ruin it for me. But like I said, I'm old as fuck, and I'm a mom of two under two. So, but yeah, this.